Lidia Andreyevna Ruslanova was born on October 27, 1900, in the Saratov Governorate of the Russian Empire. She was born into a peasant family, and by the time she was 5, both her parents had died. Her father had been killed in action fighting in the Russo-Japanese War, and her mother died shortly after. Because of this, she spent most of her childhood in an orphanage. She began singing when she joined the local parish children's choir and became a soloist. As a teenager, her uncle invited her to work in a furniture factory. One of the factory's owners heard her singing as she worked and recommended that she go to study at the Saratov Conservatory. She did, but didn't enjoy the academic study. During the First World War, she worked on a hospital train, where she met a man named Vitaly Stepanov, and they had a child, born in May 1917. Stepanov left her after a year, mainly due to her erratic lifestyle. According to a source from her birthplace of Saratov, she later married another man who later died in the Russian Civil War. This is where her Ruslanova surname came from. She gave her first concert to a military audience. She first started singing for Bolshevik soldiers during the Russian Civil War, and debuted as a professional singer in Rostov-on-Don in 1923. She quickly became renowned for her unique singing voice and timbre. During the 1930s, Ruslanova became extremely popular. She became an artist of the State Association of Musical, Variety and Circus Enterprises in 1933, and performed all over the Soviet Union for the rest of the decade. When World War II broke out, she ceaselessly toured from one front to another, helping to boost the soldiers' courage with her patriotic songs. In 1942, she married a Red Army lieutenant general, and hero of the Soviet Union named Vladimir Kryukov. Ruslanova became one of the richest women in the Soviet Union, and even financed the construction of 2 Katyusha batteries, which she presented to the Red Army in 1942. She was made an Artist of Honor of the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic that same year. During the Battle of Berlin, in April 1945, she performed on the steps of the ruined Reichstag. Her rough manners and racy language appealed to the soldiers to the point that she was seen as a potential threat by the Soviet authorities. In 1948, due to his association with Red Army Marshal Georgy Zhukov, Ruslanova's husband, Vladimir Kryukov, was arrested, with Ruslanova herself being arrested in 1950. She was forced to sign a document that stated her husband was guilty of treason, but refused to sign it, so she was sentenced to 10 years hard labor. In the Gulag she was sent to, Ruslanova became a beloved inmate that was lionized by fellow inmates and their camp administration. Because of this, she was moved to a prison cell in Vladimir Central Prison. She was released on August 4, 1953, alongside her husband, and she immediately returned to singing. In the years after her release, she presided over the first All-Soviet Festival of Soviet Songs. She went on singing right up until she died in Moscow, on September 21, 1973, at the age of 72. The Ruslanova crater on Venus was named after her in 1985. There